welcome back to the channel. It's good to have you back and hope you continue to enjoy your holidays. I know we just concluded Christmas and the New Year is coming right up, so but then the fixture is going to come thick and fast, like we did mention. We're still going underway in game week 18, and we do know the deadline for game week 19 is on Sunday, just right around the corner, 4 p.m. Ugandan time or East African time. So we're going to review game week 18 so far, because there's still two games to go. There's a game for Arsenal and a game for Brighton that is yet to be played today. So it's an early review where we'll be able to get to look at our watch list as we look ahead to game week 19. Who are the best performers so far, and who are those people that we are monitoring to bring in. One of the most important things that has to be mentioned is Manchester United did still put up a very, very poor showing yesterday. And one of the most critical things was that Bruno Fernandes was red carded, so he's suspended for their next match. So just as we are still finding replacements for Saka, I know some of you brought in Bruno as a replacement for Saka. Now he's red carded, and now we have to begin planning forward to see whether we get replacements for Bruno or maybe hold. But looking at the fixtures for Manchester United, as we're going to see ahead, I personally would advise, I think, moving on from him. So just basically to review, currently I'm standing at 52 points with a -4. Quite unfortunate, the -4 was for bringing in Isak for for Cunha, who did still going to defy all odds and score and assist. So he did it was in double figures for those that have him, because he did take also all the 3 bonus points as well. And Nori was on my bench, so I missed out on his points. Robinson had all the good chances against Chelsea, but managed to not take any. They obviously lost also their clean sheets to a goal from Palmer. For those that captained Palmer, at least he's 1 point ahead of Salah. So actually, that's 2 for those that captained him. But for now, that's how it looks. Hosen continues to defy all odds as well, and he managed to bag all the 3 bonus points in the Bournemouth match. Hall managed to keep a clean sheet. Captain Salah came through last minute. The negative was for Bruno Fernandes, which you're going to see, because like I've mentioned, the fixtures for Manchester United do not also look good. So for those that are thinking of holding him, I wouldn't really advise it. They do play Newcastle next, a red hot Newcastle that is on form. Go to Anfield, obviously. Then they have a good fixture there for Southampton. So I think for the next 2 fixtures, it's really an avoid for Manchester United assets. And maybe from Southampton, that's game week 21 onwards, is when we can begin to look at them. So we shall have a look at the potential replacements that I personally think would be the best. But for now, that's how my review is. And like I've mentioned, there's still 2 more fixtures to be played today. I do have, I think, 3 assets left. Joao Pedro, fingers crossed he can finally return. My differential this week was Trossard against Ipswich. Hopefully he can even start, because we are yet to find out who will be starting for Arsenal. Then obviously in goal is Raya for me. Going directly to our watch list, in our defense, we'll have someone like Hosen, who I've been talking about and singing along about for a while now. So Hosen continues to defy odds. For those that have not yet picked up on him, he has actually even increased in price. So it's high chance or high time that you actually get him, because actually his next fixture is also a good one as well. Munoz, we are going to have a look at their fixtures. They're also going to look good. Same applies to Sai in our midfield. Aina and Nottingham Forest are really stand out this season. They moved yesterday, I think, to 3rd position, and they really continue to look good. They're keeping it clean at the back. They're keeping the clean sheets, and they're having the likes of Elanga come through and Wood every once in a while, which Elanga we shall also look at later. Now, in my forwards, you do notice Haaland does appear. Haaland missed a penalty yesterday, but they do have a very good fixture against Leicester City. For those that have him, I know most of you make knee-jerk reactions and have those people sold, but hold on to Haaland. I do believe he's going to come through against Leicester. That's why Foden is also appearing among the watch list people. For those, I think it's due for actually a price increment. Someone like him or De Bruyne, if De Bruyne can actually start against that match of Leicester, I do believe the Manchester City assets are going to come through. So that is something to look for those that are targeting their next fixture, which also looks very good. Isak is a no-brainer. Jesus continues to, I think, we're going to remain at the front with Saka out. So to go through some of those that I've actually mentioned, one of them is actually Munoz. as you look at the fixtures, they do have Southampton next, then a difficult Chelsea my fixture against Chelsea, but which Chelsea we do know is open at the back. And one thing about Munoz is one of those defenders you do not bring in necessarily for just the clean sheets. He's very good going forward. He has, I think, 2 goals and 2 assists already so far. So I think 4 attacking returns so far. That is really good enough, because you can actually compare that to the likes of Gabriel, though they are more of a threat through corners than him. For him, is really a marauding right wing back. So he can always come through even in such a difficult fixture, even at Stamford Bridge, like we did notice Fulham managed to do yesterday. But besides the Chelsea fixture, you do notice the fixtures for Crystal Palace do look really good. They up to game week 25 when they play Everton there, they're still going to look really good. So that brings into contention someone like Sa, which I'll also look at later on. That's one of the defenders. Then Ola Aina, their fixtures, the only tricky one in there is I think Liverpool for them, which Liverpool team that they have beaten before at Anfield. Now they'll be hosting it back at their home. So I still feel like clean sheet wise, and I think the good thing with Aina is that once in a while is one of those defenders for Nottingham Forest that comes through with a goal, comes through with an assist. So it does going to look good. And the fixtures are also favorable for Nottingham Forest itself. So we're going to look forward to now the midfielders. Sa is someone I've already talked about before. Their fixtures, him and Munoz, going to look good. Yesterday they didn't perform well. It was a 0-0 draw against Bournemouth. They did just manage to get the clean sheet points, but he still looked very good going forward, and he's still going to look a threat as long as he does avoid the injuries. I think he continues to look one of those standout assets that we need to have in our teams. Going forward, we'd look at someone like Phil Foden. Why did I talk about the Manchester City assets? I think you can look at the fixtures. The next two look good. West Ham at home is not. Yes, they will obviously definitely concede against someone like Bowen or whoever will be leading the striking lineup for West Ham. But I do believe going forward, for those that have them, someone like Haaland, someone like Phil Foden, someone like De Bruyne, I think they do look good for these fixtures. Brentford, for some reason, is a colored red, but I don't think it's that much of a red for Manchester City. Brentford is often at the back, as we do know, so we do expect them to going to return against Brentford. Then obviously they do play Ipswich, so you do notice that the next four, until they play, I think Arsenal and Chelsea, the next four fixtures really look good for Manchester City. So I think I highly recommend them. And I believe with Kovacic back, I think it will provide some bit of stability in the midfield as well. We do expect Rodri to be back in January, so that should also going to improve the team, I think, going forward as well, and also at the back. So for now, I think the next 2 or 3 fixtures, I do recommend the likes of Phil Foden, De Bruyne, as well as Haaland for those that already have him. If you want to just bring him in, I wouldn't recommend that, because you might have to go through 3 or 4 moves just to bring in back Haaland. But for those now that are looking for someone like a potential replacement for Bruno, I think those are standouts as well. The last person we shall talk about, I think, before we go to my team selection, is with Anthony Elanga. He continues to look good for Nottingham Forest. The next fixtures look good. Wolves and Everton are good fixtures until they play Liverpool. And even after Liverpool, they do have a Southampton. So it's someone that you can be able to bring in for the next 3 to 4 game weeks without any problem, really. So he's someone that you can bring in for the next 3 to 4 game weeks without any issue, without any problem, really. And he's someone that I would personally recommend as well. So going directly to my team selection, going ahead to prevent or to go ahead of the price increment, because like I mentioned, Foden is due for a price increment. So I think he's one of the people that I'm going to be bringing in for the red carded Bruno Fernandes. And this is how my team will be lining up for game week 19. The only difference is I'm deciding whether to bench Aid Nori again. They have an away fixture against a Tottenham team that is hot and cold, so we'd never know which Tottenham team will be showing up against Wolves. But for now, I think I'm putting Konsa ahead of Aid Nori, because he has a home fixture against Brighton. And I think the only inclusion or the only difference that I've brought in Foden for Bruno. Captaincy will be a contention. I think Foden or Manchester City, someone like Haaland, do have a very good fixture against Leicester. It's important to know that Chelsea has also a very great fixture away to Ipswich. Ipswich is usually tricky at its home. We've seen against Arsenal, we've seen against Liverpool. They tend to be a bit more solid and I throw it while at home. So that's why I'm a bit undecided about giving the armband to Palmer, but he's a good shout as well. And obviously, Mo Salah is always in contention right there as well. So I think those three are for me the top three captaincy shouts in my team. And the captaincy is not yet nailed yet. I'm going to put in through a video tomorrow, I think, on how I'll have decided on how my team will be shaping up. Otherwise, FPL responsibly. Catch you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we're going to build the channel. Thank you very much.